Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon Drop. I'm your host, Myron. Today, we are going to see if I have actually found a replacement for the Cognac Finish 1792. I didn't get a chance to get it. It came to Virginia. Virginia dropped it, and I missed it. I mean, it is what it is. It happens. I think it retailed for around 50 bucks. I'd have to look on the Virginia ABC website to see what they actually sold it for, but I was hearing somewhere around 50 or so. So, since I couldn't get my hands on that, I figure why not try and see if I can find a replacement. Now, I know other bourbon channels, they'll tell you how to get a replacement or which should replace this or which should replace that. I can't really truly speak on whether or not this is going to be a replacement because I haven't had the 1792 Cognac finished bourbon. But I will be able to tell you whether this may be able to suit your palate and maybe you might find it enjoyable and go ahead and pick it up. I've walked past this bottle time after time after time. Turns out that they started making this bottle around the time I started my channel. So 2022. It is not 1792. However, we know Barton distills for a lot of people. However, this is going to be Barton's own line. So this is Barton's Thomas S. Moore. I know you guys are looking at this bottle and probably saying the same thing. Yeah, I walked past that bottle too. I've walked past this bottle time and time again because one, I am not the hugest finish fan. Two, it is 70 bucks. Turns out, I believe it's been that way since 2022. And you know, three, I mean, it's a beautiful bottle, but I didn't know who Thomas S. Moore was. I should have been more up on my game because I'm just figuring like, okay, somebody else with another story, which they do have a pretty cool story. And this is not one of those stories where they just came up with a story. It's a true story. It's for the 1792 Barton Distillery. The Thomas S. Moore name is paying homage to Thomas S. Moore, who started the original distillery that Barton is in today. Thomas S. Moore began making whiskey at what would become the Barton 1792 Distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky in 1889. His distillery flourished and Bardstown is now the bourbon capital of the world, much like the belle of Nelson Moore's original bourbon brand, paying tribute to the rearing racehorse. His legacy lives on today through his namesake brand. So, like I said, this is their way of paying homage. It almost seems like they wanted this to be more of a premium line. I know that it's finished, but look at the bottle they put it in. I mean, I honestly think that this is like a top tier, beautiful bottle. I do like how they have like the little clovers around the neck. They do have the horse on the front. They have the horse on the top. Now, the wild thing is the bottle doesn't tell you anything about its age. When you go on Breaking Bourbon says that it is 5 to 6 years old, and the Cognac finish bottles also aged in a Cognac finish, an ex-Cognac cask for 2 to 4 more years. So you could get anywhere from 7-year-old juice to 10-year-old juice. But it only comes in at 93.4 proof. So they had to water it down quite a bit to get it down to that proof. Now the Cognac finish bottle from 1792 is their typical high rye mash bill. It's finished in Cognac for I think only a few months. That thing comes in at 95 proof. They don't even give you the mash bill on this Thomas S. Moore. When I see things like that, it makes me wonder, like, are you hiding bad whiskey? Like, what are you doing? If this is supposed to be your premium line at $70 a bottle, I don't want it to be bad whiskey. Let's get this thing poured up, man. Like I said, I've walked past it time and time again. I have cracked it, have my own thoughts on it. Sometimes those thoughts change, sometimes they don't. Let's get into the nose. It's very oaky, very fruity on the nose, very grape forward on the nose. And I do pick up some ethanol, but it's a sweet ethanol though. It's not like sometimes you get that ethanol that smells like alcohol and just punches you in the nose. This is a very sweet ethanol. Very sweet grapey note, very sweet fruity note. It's very bright, doesn't smell rich. Now the color on it is light. To me, to even be finished in an ex-Cognac cask for 2 years, maybe even 4, that's light. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but I typically don't talk about legs on a bourbon. I'm not feeling great because it's running thin. Like all of the legs are running thin, and then like normally there's like this coating left on the glass. The legs are running thin. The slight coating that was on there is starting to like just fall down the glass, and it almost looks like almost like a mist. All right. Anyway, let's get into the palate. It's delicate. It's very light, very nice, very sweet. Not very sweet. Very nice, very light, lightly sweet, but very delicate, very soft on the palate, and oaky. This is an oaky one. this is an oaky one. I like my share of oak when it is combined with richer flavors, brown sugar flavors. I am starting to get a little hint of dark chocolates in the back of the palate, mainly char across the back, but it is a very drying popsicle stick oak. But the flavors are so fast. They're so quick. They're just fleeting. Like soon as you get it on a palate, it's just like it dances and it goes away. All right, let's go back into the nose. The nose has gotten even more berry forward. It is even fruitier now. And I don't know what it is, but now I'm starting to get like this earthy, like an earthy note. A little bit of a bready note. That fruit has not gone away at all. Back into the palate one more time. I wish it had. It's almost like it's promising, but then the flavors just run away, man. Like it comes in, hits you with like this sweetness, and if you gave this to me, I wouldn't tell you that it was cognac finish. I would feel like it was just maybe sweet, but with just a berry sweetness, like a little bit of a grapey sweetness, a berry sweetness. But it's so quick and so light. Like I don't feel like I taste the cognac influence on it. And like I said, that dark chocolate, that char, it is more oaky popsicle stick wood on a mid palate. Towards the back, you get like damp, like a touch of the dark chocolate, and then you get char, and char. All right. Like I said, I haven't had the 1792. Dan from the Bourbon Junkies hated it. He said if he paid double the price for it to get it, he said he would have been very upset. Jason C, on the other hand, he said that he tasted a lot of like blueberries, which my first Woodinville pick from, I think it was Sip Whiskey. My first Woodinville pick, yeah, it was Sip Whiskey. That was one of the first bourbons that I had ever. That was the first bourbon that I had ever tasted blueberries in. It was like you ate a blueberry muffin. It was that good, and I really loved that note. Not many bourbons I've had since then. Maybe one or two have had that note. This unfortunately doesn't have that note. I was hoping it had that note, being from the same distillery. But like I said, without a mash bill, and you can't really say it's the same as, the typical 1792 hot rod. And you also have to ask yourself, are they hiding something? Because they're aging it an additional 2 to 4 years in that cognac cask. So that's going to impart flavor, but not only is it going to impart flavor from the cognac, that's a long time to be in a barrel. It's going to pick up a lot of oak. So, is it worth picking up? I'm gonna have to say no, man. I don't think I found anything close to. Now, look, I might taste the 1792 cognac and feel the exact same way. So I don't know. Dan didn't seem to like it. Me and Dan typically have different palates. Me and Jason C tend to align a lot more when it comes to sipping bourbon. But no, I don't think this is worth picking up, man. At $70, no. Worth retail, no. Who is it for? At 4 proof, I would actually, wow. I started to pick up like a little, almost like a grape skin on the palate. Like right there when I talked, it was like a grape and grape skin when you bite into a grape. Anyway, I would give it to a new bourbon drinker because it is a little too bland for my palate at this point. I think it is promising to see, you know, what they thought about it. Will it always be on the bar? Unfortunately not. This will not be on the bar. After this bottle is gone, I'll probably, and I'm not a big cocktail guy, but I might even make cocktails with it, make some type of concoction with it, but it will not be on the bar. With that being said, let the whiskey float. Never run out, let's head into a drop. Till next time.